Hey everybody, my name is Angie Murenga. You're watching Just Angie. It's Mes Favoris, where we discuss all my favorite things, and anyone who knows me knows that coffee is one of my favorite things. It has shaped my life. It was an amazing time working in the coffee industry, and today I have an amazing guest, so she's going to look into that camera, introduce herself, and then we're going to have a conversation.
My name is Esther Otieno. I'm seventh born in a family of 8 children.
Wow.
And to what I do, I'm a coffee professional. And I've been working in the coffee industry for 19 years now. And I'm a very passionate coffee educator. And I run a coffee brewing school called Barista Pro, which is 9 years old now.
It's amazing. So I really want to celebrate you. First of all, Esther.
Yeah, thank you.
I met Esther when I started working at Dormans. I think you guys had been employed just a few months before I came. I was employed to do sales, and you were baristas. You were a team of baristas, and it was the first time that they never had baristas, so that they wanted to go and train their clients on how to brew coffee, brew it well, what you need for storage. That's why we have all these amazing gadgets. So that's amazing. And to hear you say 19 years, that means so it's been that long. It's been 19 years in the industry, and then 9 years doing Barista and Pro. I see you on Instagram, and I'm like, what is Esther doing? So I was so excited to see and to understand all that you're doing. I want you to take it over, but imagine when I was in coffee, this was the only coffee brewing. The French press, and this one. This is a filter where you put the
the drip there.
There was nothing else. All these things. I'm wondering what's going on. But maybe we start with your journey. Why did you go into coffee?
I didn't know anything about coffee. It was just a job that I was told about. Then I went for the interview, got the job, and we were told, you're going to be training people about coffee. And we were actually trained in-house first because we didn't know anything. We didn't know anything about coffee. We didn't have the skills. We didn't have the knowledge. So we had to be trained from scratch, which we did. And we practiced it and became professional. And I just loved it. And I think it stuck with me when now I was changing positions. Now I was the training manager. So that's when this aha moment with coffee came. So it just stuck with me after going full time into training.
Because then you had to leave our former place of employment and then do this full time.
Yes.
Another thing I think that I really remember is the coffee championships. They were the Barista Championships, which were introduced, I can't remember, but when we were there. 2004. And you guys were competitors.
Yes.
And you won, and it was so much fun, and I loved the vibe. It was so exciting. And at that time, there were only 2 coffee houses. I think it was only Dormans and Java. But since then, I think there's a lot that has gone on. I was even asking whether they still go on. And you said they do.
Yes, they do. And we are even holding our 19th edition of the Barista Championship.
Because they happened that long ago, I remember.
Yeah, so every year it happens. So this year is going to be the 19th edition.
I love it. I love it. And I loved all the... So what do you want to tell us today? Because I can talk about so many things. I'm just thinking about specialty coffees. I'm thinking about menus. I'm thinking how I used to have the coffee in the boot of my car. Coffee really is one of my favorite things. It really is. I love for coffee. And I love the brand that we used to work for. That's the one that I love. I promote. I am very excited about. But where do you want to start with this journey? Because, okay, as we start, right now you have a training school, and you get certified as a barista, and then you have an outlet where you actually now sell and serve the coffee.
We have a coffee shop because the coffee shop was there to add value to our training, because we were thinking, okay, when we are training these baristas, where do they go?
Where do people even experience this? And where do they practice? Because it's the same thing with when I came onto the sales team, the whole idea of bringing the baristas on board was that we're selling this product called coffee, but we have to go and educate our clients. What's the best way to brew the coffee? How do you store the coffee? We came up with those specialty menus and all that. So I think it was very good, and it always increased sales. I remember even one day being outside a supermarket, and we did wet sampling. That day we sold 38 boxes of coffee, simply because we had how to brew it, and they tasted it, and they were like, okay, so we sold. So we understood people need an expression. Even the coffee shops, I think, were initially started so that the customer could experience the actual beverage, coffee in the different states that it comes in. Okay,
and it's still the same thing.
Amazing.
Because right now, people drink more coffee because they understand it. Like now, if you ask a friend, if you ask a professional, like, why don't you drink coffee? They'll say, because I don't know anything about it. So nothing has changed. It's still the same concept. When people learn about coffee and they understand it, imagine they drink and then they now know how to brew it correctly. Because the challenge that we are having is the coffee that we are drinking, it's bitter, it's tasting burnt. So people are like, if that's coffee, I don't want it.
But it's because they prepared it the wrong way.
Exactly. And hence Barista Pro. Us guys now training you how to brew the coffee correctly, and you get to appreciate coffee. Yeah.
Every time I go to a restaurant, but that's just difficult to me. When I ask for coffee, I always tell them I was a barista. I'm trained as a barista. I can come to that machine and produce the coffee.
Yes.
So this is how I want my coffee. Like I remember cappuccino is a third. Yes. That is exactly how, and I will take it. You will go back with it 100 times. So tell the barista, please, this is a barista talking to a barista. You better do it the way it's supposed to be done. But I also love the fact that even that you could brew, when they taught us you can even brew coffee in a sufuria. That helped me. You know, so I don't even need all these gadgets. And I think the secret was to make sure that the water is not
boiling.
It's not boiling.
The way we do tea.
Yes,
that's
the way
secret.
We put tea. Tea, milk, majani, chemka. That's not how you make coffee. We'll just let you know that little secret. You wait for the water to cool down a bit. Then you add the coffee. You don't boil coffee. You boil the water, let it cool maybe for a minute, add the coffee, leave it to brew, and then now you drink your coffee and it will be a fantastic cup. Rather than, you cannot chemsha it the way you chemsha tea. I want to talk about this one as well, because this is amazing. This is revolutionary.
Exactly.
Because the reason people don't brew coffee as well is all this drama. There's a lot of drama. You have to start getting equipment. Gee, what?
And
I
also
love this. Yes. So apparently somebody, Utake, it's called Utake.
Yeah, Utake.
Utake has done something absolutely amazing. Because this just sits on the side. So they've sort of created like a, is this a sieve?
A filter,
there? A filter. And it sits on the side. You just put it over your cup. Then you pour hot water through here.
Yeah, you just pour hot water like this.
It is amazing.
And you're done.
Because people don't like this process, you know. Even before I understood the French press. And then now I don't know how we got there. But anyway, so like the French press, and I'm not the barista, but I've also been trained. Now the French press as well, when you put your coffee, then you wait, boil your water, wait for a minute or two, add it, then leave it to brew first, before then you press down and serve your coffee. Anyway, you're the expert.
Yeah, but you, I mean, you remember everything. You remember
20
everything.
years, it can never leave my spirit. So tell me about coffee and all these amazing things that you have here.
Okay. Number one, coffee has changed since 19 years ago. That's why the only thing you can, it's this.
This is the only thing I can relate to, and this one.
And this, because these are common. So this is the drip
and
coffee.
They were there.
Those ones were there. But now, of course, things have evolved. There are new equipment that are coming. Even this one is old. This one is a mocha pot. And most people have this at home.
Really?
A mocha pot.
Okay.
So this is also common. Then this is the one that I love. This is called an AeroPress. AeroPress. It works almost
like
exactly. It's just that now this is plastic. It's durable. It can fall down. It won't break. You can put it in your bag. Like coffee snobs. This is what we call them, coffee snobs. Those people who love coffee. Like now you are a coffee snob. The way you will, the way you will return the barista how many times.
Do not even try to make my coffee jokingly. I know exactly what I'm supposed to get.
Yes. So this is a plastic one that you can even put it in your bag. Like Angela, as in you see people in the plane. You see people in the plane removing this. I'm telling you. People in the plane, like they just tell the steward, please just bring for me hot water. So you can even brew it in the plane. Like it's so convenient.
You cannot be serious.
So this is called an AeroPress. It works kind of like it's just parts. It's just
So those are the different parts. So you put the coffee where?
You put the coffee here. So this is where you put the filter. The filter, and then you fix it over here.
Filter paper.
Filter, So like it's here.
Okay.
So you just put the filter there. Then you put it over a cup, like this. Then you put your hot water over it. Then you press. So this is actually just a press. Then you just press, and the coffee just goes inside into the cup. Into the cup.
And now what are all these gadgets? Are for weighing the coffee or for measuring the coffee?
Measuring the coffee, stirring. Like now this one,
So
if you don't, if you don't want to spill the coffee around, you can just use the funnel so that the coffee can go directly into the chamber. And then of course this is just for measuring, and then this is for stirring. This one is for stirring the coffee. Yeah.
So I can make my own coffee.
Yes.
So I carry my coffee with my bouginess.
Yes.
And then I brew it wherever I am.
Yep.
That's amazing. Yeah. So you were saying coffee has changed.
Yes. So there are those gadgets. Together. Nowadays you have to weigh things. It's not like those days where we just used to approximate using our eyes. So nowadays you have to weigh the coffee, and so that you get the right recipe. So that you also remember, if this is saying, so this is 25 grams, yeah? So you have to weigh so that you get the recipe. So nowadays there's no approximating, just use the weighing scales.
Really?
Yes. Then this is another one. So now guys, if you didn't know, like we encourage coffee drinkers to buy beans.
Yes, they do. They encourage people that making more difficult, but they encourage people to buy beans for coffee.
Yeah. Why? Because the beans stay fresh for a longer time. Yeah. So now this is a hand grinder. Yeah. So this is a hand grinder. So what you do, you just put the coffee beans in here. Yeah.
And then you grind.
Yeah, and then you grind.
Then it will come out on the other side.
Exactly. So you don't have to buy those expensive grinders. Yeah. So you can just use a hand grinder, and then you grind. Yeah.
But for convenience, I'm sure you can use whatever grinder you desire, but we grind. But they actually do prefer that you buy coffee in bean form. But it will stay longer. It will be. It's much better. Of course, the aroma the makes the whole house smell of coffee, or the restaurants that we used to do this at. They are just really booming with the coffee. Okay, so we have to. So now we have to weigh everything.
Yes.
There's no estimation.
Yes.
Because we used to use that key scoop for the espresso. And then you...
But even the scoop you can use, but there has to be some measuring element. Okay. Yeah, not like this with your eyes. So even the scoop is okay.
Okay. Yeah. So there's measuring. Yeah. Then you have so many coffees over there. Some smell so good. I'm like, where is that coffee from, by the way?
Yeah. So coffees. Maybe before I go to the coffees that are there. Like it's just important for at least guys to understand the process, because people are like, I don't understand this coffee. Like now, what is this stage?
That's when I know it's green at least.
Yeah. So before the coffee is green, it's actually parchment. After it's dried, it has a husk.
Okay.
Then the millers remove the husk. It becomes the green
bean.
Yeah. Then the green bean is then roasted by the coffee roasters. Then now this is what we sell to the coffee shops. Yeah. And the barista now grinds it. After grinding, then you have the grinds. Yeah. Then after the grinds, now you brew the coffee.
But also there are brands, I think they still do, where you can buy the coffee ground.
Yes.
And you can buy different grinds, medium grind and fine grind.
Yes.
So if you're doing an espresso machine, you'd use a fine grind. If you're using these products, I can't forget.
Hey, you still remember.
I love coffee. I'm not saying I love, I'm serious, I love it. And if you're going to use any of these, then you use the medium grind.
Yeah.
That's the goodness. And then also the dark roast, there was dark roast and medium roasts as well.
Yes.
I have my favorites, but anyway.
Yeah. So what you're saying, medium roast and dark roast is also important, because guys go to the supermarket and they're like, okay, what's the difference? It's the taste different. Like dark roasts are less flavorful, because the longer you roast the coffee, the more you lose the flavor, and they're also low in acidity. So if that's your kind of coffee, then go for a dark roast.
Okay.
A medium roast is more flavorful and more acidic.
Yes.
So if that's your taste, then go for a medium roast.
Wow.
Yeah. So because guys usually wonder, okay, like what's the difference? So there is a difference between the taste.
The two.
Yeah. Then now these coffees, there's something called cupping. Now
I remember that's what people used to do at Milimani, isn't it?
Yes.
That's where they do the cupping.
Yes. So any beverage company, you have to taste the beverage before now you give it okay. Yes. Before you give it an okay, and that is the last level of telling the quality of coffee. It's cupping.
Cupping.
Yeah. So now when you're testing different coffees, like they will taste different because of the roast, number one. Even the brewing equipment that you've used, like for example, if you use the same coffee using a French press and the same exact coffee, and we do a French press or a drip, it will taste different.
Really?
So yes, so even the brewing equipment will make your coffee taste different. The processing method, the way the coffee has been processed, wet processed, dry processed, again, it will taste different. And also the origin. where
the coffee comes from.
That's why Kenyan coffee, Ethiopian coffee, Colombian coffee, Honduras coffee will not taste the same. Yeah, so these are just coffees from different origins. Yeah, where you can get to taste and see how do Colombian coffees taste, how do Kenyan coffee taste. Yeah, so that's what is happening here.
Okay, and our coffee is very superior, and that's why they blend it.
And Kenyan coffee is one of the best coffees in the world in regards to quality. And yes, most people use it to blend other coffees just to boost
to bring
it.
Up the level, to bring up the superiority of the coffee.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
What else do you want to ask about coffee? And then why did you go into training then? Okay, because you were training when we left the other company. You were training.
Yeah.
Then why did you actually now say, let me go and start a school, a Barista Pro training and certification school?
Yeah, like just what you've mentioned, that we were really not training. We were sales and marketing and training at the same time. But now there was this training school that was just there. Yeah. So my boss told me, okay, Esther,
we used to practice and train at the training school. The baristas would practice for the championships at the training school.
Yes, but you see, it was not doing anything. So
only doing training barista competitions.
Yes, so I was told, Esther, do you think you can do this? So I was like, okay. And imagine this is a barista school, but then it was the first of its kind in Africa.
I can imagine.
So I set it up using Google. Yes, it was Google, like you're Googling barista school. How does a barista school operate? Yeah, because there was no barista school in Kenya, there was no barista school in Africa. So I just used Google and set it up. Of course, there was a lot of errors here and there. You change, and until it became what it was. Now there was a point where you feel like you've reached your limit in that environment. In that environment, you feel like I still have so much to do. There's so much to do, but you feel limited. You feel like this is the end. Yet in my mind, I know there's a lot that we can do. So that thing, is what made me just decide, okay, maybe I need to think about leaving and then taking this to another level. And also, it stuck with me because it's in the training that I found purpose.
Yes.
Because for me,
that's where you found purpose.
You see, for me, I was just training because I wanted to meet a KPI. Remember, your boss has given you a role. So you're like, hey, I need to meet these KPIs. Yeah. So for me, it was just that, until one student came after finishing her course. She came back. She was like, Esther, thank you so much. And she was so excited. She was so emotional. I was looking at her like,
what's wrong?
Yeah, what's happening? And she was like, no, I just, like, you've changed my life.
Oh,
I can't believe, like, this student, like, their last class was Friday. On Monday, she had a job. Amen. And this is like an 18-year-old. Wow. And then after that, more students kept on coming back. And then I was like, okay. So it touched me somewhere. And the reason why I do training is, honestly, I have passion for youth because 98% of our students are youth between the age of 18 to 24. So I do this because I have a lot of passion for the youth. Amen. That's why I do this.
I really like it. And also, I like that, people think it's just coffee, you can just brew it anywhere. No. And I'm grateful even for the outlets that actually train their staff. Because you need a trained barista.
Yeah.
You need them to know the do's, the don'ts, and how to make the coffee, how to make it great, and how to present it well, and so that even the taste is well, because then it keeps bringing back the
like the consumption goes up. Like, it's a ripple effect. But then it's a ripple effect. Yeah. When you have a trained barista, the quality of the coffee in the establishment changes. It becomes better. The consumer starts enjoying the coffee, and then consumption goes up. So everybody is happy. Like, the consumer is happy they're getting a good beverage. The barista is happy because there are jobs, and the coffee value chain, they keep on improving their quality, because right now, if you don't roast properly, then we won't buy your coffee. So it's just a ripple effect.
And I really like that. I like the company where we worked. We were really serious coffee roasters. We took it seriously. When I joined coffee, I was like, hey, these people, they're taking this thing so seriously. They're cupping, 15,000 cups a day. What the drama is excess. But I understood.
They lived up to the slogan.
They did. Yeah. Oh, they did. That's why I'm very passionate about them. We can even have a fight about coffee because I saw the work. I saw them do the work. I saw them really make sure that we get the same coffee, we get the same standards. There were like 10 brands. So we need to make sure which brand is which brand, how are we doing this. It's just, I was the commitment, the dedication, the expertise, the things I learned.
For coffee,
was just amazing. So me, I'm a believer. I'm a complete and total believer in this, in the coffee and the coffee products.
And I'm glad that you're still enjoying your coffee.
I am. And you can hear I still know the lessons, how to do them. So, Esther, thank you so much for coming to this, but I want you to look into that camera, give them your parting shot. And thank you so much. I'm amazed. I'm looking around. Can you see I'm looking dazed? Because I'm like, what is happening here? I want to sample all these things, but thank you so much for coming. Thank you for, I think it was 19 years is a long time. 9 years also doing the training and the coffee outlet. That's just amazing. Moving on to take things to the next level and make it bigger and better is absolutely,
thank you very much.
Absolutely amazing. You still haven't told me where that coffee is from. I've just smelt it. Don't say it's okay, but that coffee, I'm after it. It really has an amazing aroma. But if you can look into that camera and give everyone your parting shot.
So as you've heard, I run a barista school, and this is because I have a passion for youth, and the barista profession is for youth. And if you've been looking for something to do and you need a skill, then we want to create awareness of the barista profession through the barista training. So if you're out there and you are a youth and you're just wondering, what can I do? Then you can try a career in coffee and find us.
Amen. And I wonder now, Miamu is promoting people, increasing people. So what are you going to do? Because is this going to stay just here in Nairobi? Are we going to have one in Mombasa, in Eldoret, in Nakuru, in the different counties? Africa, what is happening on this continent concerning coffee and all those nations that you said even produce the coffee?
Exactly. First of all, it's in our strategic plan to open in Mombasa, Nakuru, Kisumu, Eldoret, and also branch outside of Kenya and throughout Africa, because barista profession is still very new here in Kenya, and in fact even other African countries, they don't even know who a barista is. So Kenya is a bit far ahead than other countries. So yes, even roll out in other African countries. So that's,
and especially when the ones that produce their own coffee.
Yes,
I think it will be important.
So that's the plan.
Okay, we're cheering you on.
Thank you very much.
We're cheering you on. We're like, yes, do this, Esther.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for coming.
Asante.
I hope you've learned a lot about coffee. Go out and try some. God bless.